Harry, this is LordPotato, and this is What If LordPotato Was in Black Clover, Part 7. The demons. So yeah, let me, go into this what if and let me shut up. But yeah, so let me, not do a recap, but let me continue on where I last left that off. So yeah, so we go into, the 6-month time skip. Everyone has kind of became strong like original canon. Now, has always, he became the same strength, but of course, when he kind of got the word of how Asa went to go train with, Dark Raikou, he didn't want to be left behind. So, of course, he tried to train by himself. But, of course, there was someone that was actually keep watching him. Mostly someone that I kind of told to kind of go spy on him. And also tried to train Yuno refused at first, but of course when he decides to refuse this person, the person kicked his ass so hard that it kind of made Yuno realize that he isn't the strongest and he needs someone to train him. This person's a mercenary. He's an older type of mercenary, but of course actually bowed down to me when I kicked his ass. Now, this mercenary is having two different magic attributes. First, he's able to use wind, and second, he's able to use sound. So wind and sound, he has two attributes for his magic. He doesn't have large mana inside him, but even without his medium mana that he has, he still makes it work with himself. He's a very thin, not thin man. He's kind of skinny person who's not that tall, but of course almost the same height as Yuno, but being a little bit taller, being 5'9", but yeah. Of course, he's 48, and his name is, Otto, and of course, he says, when he was training against Yuno decides to try to win against him, but Otto, I should mention, his wind magic is very good with his sound magic, because his sound magic is technically wind a little bit. It's like wind kind of making sound and all that, but at the same time, it is sound just like the the kind of wave of just talking and all that. But yeah, of course, he can use his wind and sound technically together at the same time. Like he can make his voice kind of talk louder, making either the sound travel further with his wind magic, or kind of make anyone deaf with his when he travels it further, or he can make it louder with his wind magic, or he can also make it when his wind magic is sharp enough and make himself very silent. He can make his hand into a wind blade, but yeah. He also does have a katana that's able to transform into having the blade on it to be sharper, but yeah. This is where, he trains Yuno on how to use sword techniques, and also how to kind of fight with his wind magic, and how to sharpen it much better, how to use his abilities way better, not to use that much wind or much mana on useless things, but yeah. Of course, is where, Yuno's also taught to kill the person. Yuno has killed some people. It's just, he doesn't want to have the time. But of course, Otto has teach him how to do something like that. And since Yuno only has wind and not sound, Otto managed to teach him how to manage to combine combine a lot of wind together to kind of put a enough magic wind to make into a ball. Of course, talks into it, say it's one word or something, and of course he just has to throw it, and of course it explodes with his sound or whatever he's talking. Of course, Otto doesn't need to do that. He usually can use it with his magic. But of course, is where Yuno's being trained by like that. Of course, Yuno's also being trained to be able to handle more percentile of his wind spirit form. Otto had to teach him in that also, because Otto had a form similar towards Yuno. Not that similar that he needed a fucking wind spirit, but similar that he managed to create by himself. he made him also, well, also had a actually spirit power, but instead of being like an actual, like one of the main spirits, it was only like a sacrifice, well, not sacrifice, a kind of imaginary kind of spirit that he had to make. It was made out of his magic. It's only created. It doesn't help him that much, but the only thing that helps him is it's because it's like a split magic. It's like making a clone. He made a clone, but it's like a miniature clone that split his magic in it. But of course, it won't help him gather magic. It will only help him see where the people are at and kind of like tell him this and that and all that. But yeah. But of course, well, it's not like spirits. It doesn't actually help Otto. So of course, well, Otto teach him that when he uses a spirit, he can actually also go into a form. But this form is just a complete version of himself. It's just the complete version does kind of give him a kind of different look. The form that it is that his what's it called clothing kind of goes grayish green a little bit, and of course well, his eyes does go into a very grayish color with a kind of slick in the middle, and of course well, he has kind of like his hands becomes claws, like sharp kind of claws thanks to the wind magic being on there. It's like gauntlets mostly, and of course it's mostly armor that gets on him, but most of the time. But of course, well, he does fight against Yuno to kind of get his like form, his like spiritual form, even stronger to be able to handle more percentage. But yeah, of course we go into the 6-month time skip. We go into well, the kind of the fight between Vanica and well the Heart Kingdom. The Heart Kingdom is right now dealing with, well, Vanica. And of course, Vanica said, haha, you think you people are going to be able to stop me? I will take you, LordPotato. I don't know how you got rid of that curse, but that won't stop me at all. This is where she tries to attack, well, LordPotato, until a earth punch appears right now, punching her down to the ground. This is where, well, this earth punch came from, well, or not punching her down to the ground, uppercutting her shit. This is where it came from a dark-skinned girl with kind of blue eyes. She's been the height of kind of being like 6'2", and of course, not 6'2", 6'1", 6'2", I don't remember. But of course, having like darkish brown hair or black hair a little bit, kind of being short, yeah. And of course, this is where, well, not short, kind of became long towards her shoulder after 6 months. And this is where she's saying, huh, bitch. How you like that, you stupid devil bitch? Goddamn whore. This is where, well, when Mimosa and even Noel and LordPotato saw this, it was none other than, well, Soy from the Blue Rose. This is where Noel said, Soy, what are you doing here? Soy said, sorry. I just had to, let my, leave me here. This is where she coughed and just like said, leave me here, yeah. This is where, well, they say, huh? What do you mean? This is where she said, nothing. Her face was completely red. This is where, well, she says, let's just get into the hand and beat the shit out of this bitch. This is where, funny, because she's, ugh. So, you're gonna be fighting me. Huh. I guess I'll be fighting against someone else. You're from the Clover Kingdom. You're pathetic. So I say, the hell did you just call me? I'm gonna fucking murder you. This is where, well, she punches the ground and of course makes an earth gauntlet on both of her hands. This is where she gets angry and says, I'm gonna kick your ass so hard that you're gonna feel it until the next fucking morning. Or until you're fucking dead, exactly. This is where, well, Veronica says, yeah, I'm gonna kill you. This is where, well, they start fighting. Of course, we go into Yuno versus, well, what's it called, Bazil and all that? Or whatever. Mostly Zenon, who is the devil of Bazil or something like that. And of course, well, Zenon is right now easily destroying the kind of what's it called. Well, his two double, mostly the Dark Disciples, are easily destroying the Golden Dawn. This is where when Yuno gets there after talking to, well, the person who actually showed him about his memories and all that, he says, I was a prince. This is where he remembers that one time where I accidentally kind of spilled the beans saying that he was a prince. This is where, well, Yuno realized that I always knew that he was a prince. I just never actually explained it further in how he's actually a prince. Well, not how. And why I accidentally said that like that? It was because I was being such a prick about it. But yeah, of course it worked. Well, you know, say I'm gonna kill Dark Raku. Here's where he looks at, well, what's it called? Otto, and Otto says, I didn't fucking know any of this. Don't blame me. So Otto is still there. Otto has been mostly a guardian and a sensei towards Yuno, but yeah. This is where, well, Otto says, didn't know. Don't blame me. This is where, well, he then looks at, well, what's it called? Fuck, what am I talking about? Well, he then gets a call from, what's it called? The Golden Dawn, that they're getting attacked by, well, devils. And of course, Yuno decides to get his, like, what's it called? Not broom. He decides to fly up. This is where also he decides to use his wind magic to kind of make himself a broom out of, well, wind and sound to make him, like, physically broom and all that. But yeah. This is where, well, when Yuno and what's it called also gets to the, what's it called? Well, Golden Dawn, they see the Dark Disciples, and this is where Otto says, I deal with them. This is where, well, what's it called? Yuno nods and then just runs off. This is where the two Dark Disciples try to fight against Otto, and Otto says, hey Teku, wanna get out here for a second? I know you always ask me about you wanna take magic from devils and train on that. This is where, well, Teku appears right in front of Otto and says, thank you. Now I can see if I can. This is where Teku says, fire binding, wind binding, earth binding, and water binding. Right now trapping two of the devils in two different attributes of elements. This is where, well, Teku goes up to the two kind of devils and just grab his, like, he puts his, like, right hand upon one of the devils that can actually, like, use earth magic and all that. The devil says, what are you doing? Why do I feel weaker? This is where the other two is saying, why do I feel like I can't use my magic? He's the steam dude. This is where, well, this is where Teku says, oh, don't worry about it. Takes the magic of the earth one, and even the devil's power, but mostly just takes the actual mana, not the, like, devil itself. This is where he goes to the other one, takes that one's mana and magic away. This is where both of them, they are left manaless and even magicless. This is where, well, Teku says, I can. You can finish him off, Otto. Otto says, God, pulls out his blade and says, die, you pathetics. This is where both of them say, no, please. Their necks are cut off. This is where, well, Teku says, well, I can now report to the, well, young master, you know. Well, see ya. This is where, well, Otto says, yeah, see, yeah, whatever. This is where he goes to kind of find Yuno. And of course, Yuno finds where, what's it called, Zenon's at. And Zenon is right now taking, what's it called, well, William's away. And this is where Yuno says, William! This is where, well, Zenon says, ah, I missed one. Or you must just came. Unlucky for you, I'm gonna have to take you out. This is where Yuno goes into 75% of the Spirit Guardian. He only managed to kind of go 75. This is where, well, he's in the 75% and right now rushes at, well, Zenon. Zenon was like, you pathetic weakling, bone magic. This is where he sends multiple bones behind his back towards Yuno, but Yuno managed to cut it all down, and Yuno seems to be more angry and more emotional about it. This is where Otto has trained him in being more emotional. Zenon, well, not Zenon, mostly Otto hasn't just trained him in his magic and other things, but being more emotions. Because the more emotions that he have, the more powerful that he will get. Emotions are a lot of things. So of course, this is where, well, Yuno is very angry right now. He's right now getting memories of how Willem is. He has happy thoughts, he has anger thoughts. This is where, well, he then, like, stabbed his, like, sword, because he has that wind spirit sword that he has right now, created, stabs upon, well, the devil Zenon and blasts him away. Right now, Williams are, like, let go, and of course falls down to the ground. This is where Zenon says, why, you bastard, 50% devil. This is where, well, he goes into a 50% mode, and right now starts fighting against Yuno. This is where they seem to be equal, but Yuno seems to have an upper hand against, well, Zenon. Zenon says, I won't lose to you. What's called spatial magic. This is where a special magic kind of appears around Yuno. Yuno says, damn it, no. This is where Zenon says, now you're going to. This is where before he's even able to kind of just like push or teleport away because he sees a goddamn problem mostly or try to kill him mostly. A sound slice, an invisible sound slice appears, slashing through the kind of like spatial magic. This is what Zenon is confused. Is confused, but this is where he realizes it's his sensei. This is where he stabs upon Zenon and blasts him down to the ground, not letting any chances go, because he did remember getting an advice: don't let any of those small little chances get away from you. Always take them. Take them if they will be very helpful to you. But yeah, this is where it says, I won't let you defeat anyone. I won't let you kill anyone. I will save everyone. Because I am a Golden Dawn. I am the vice captain. This is where, Zenon says, you annoying brat. This is where he looks at Otto, and Otto looks at Zenon. Zenon kind of rushes at Otto right now with blind speed. This is where, realize one thing. This is where, he had to go down there until something happens. Before even Zenon actually getting closer to Otto, this is where someone says, this is interesting. Well, I only left you for a couple of seconds, Otto, but I'll help you. Wind style, fire style, water style, earth style, metal magic, this. This is where so many attacks smashes into Zenon, right now pushing him straight towards multiple walls of the Golden Dawn. This is where, what's confused. This is where Teku comes back and says, Kid. I can't really believe that you almost died, Otto. Otto says, as a mercenary, I am willing to die. This is where Teku says, Kid. Always as that stubborn old man, aren't you? You wouldn't mind dying, wouldn't you? What about your family? Don't have them. This is where, Teku says, but it'd be a shame if you die. So, I'll help you. Kid. This is where, Zenon gets up and says, who are you? And what are you doing here? This is a fight between me and that old man. Kid. Sorry, that old man is with me. And I have to be kind of the watcher, since I am called the third vice captain of, not third. I'm the second vice captain of Dark Ragu, and cannot let you get anywhere near my underlings. Kid. This is where Zenon starts fighting against, Teku. Teku has multiple attributes because he takes so many attributes from anyone. He took so many of them. He has fire, water, earth, almost a lot of them. What's called ice, metal, lava. He has a lot of them. He also has non-element attributes, like like smoke, chemicals attributes, like those type, dark magic or whatever. This is where, dark elixir or whatever like that. This is where, he's right now just kind of buffing Otto, and Otto is kind of getting buffed by some of Teku's magic, and this is where he realized that Teku is doing something for Otto to kind of do. Otto nodded. He puts his blade up towards the side of him, mostly towards the right side, and this is where Otto says, sound magic, silent slash. He swings his blade, kind of like horizontal slash, a little bit kind of like down horizontal slash. And this is where, when he does that, this is where, Teku jumped out of the way, right now dodging the silent sound slash, and it hits Zenon. Zenon goes, right now saying, 75%! He goes into a 75% and says, I won't lose to any of you. Teku laughs and then kick. Seems that we're gonna have to fight him even harder. Hey, Wind Boy. You, Prince Boy. This is where was confused. He didn't even mention anything. No one should know about him being the prince. Unless Otto and this guy already knew. He already knew that Otto was someone from, my kind of legion of the mercenaries. This is where, kind of gets down there, and he's already in his 75% of what's called the Wind Spirit form still. This is where, Teku says, we're gonna have a little problem with the devil right now. The devil is going to, well, be able to use his spatial and bone magic a little bit more powerful. So that's why we need help. All the hands that we can get. This is where Teku, he snaps his fingers, and this is where four other portal magics appear behind what's it called, This is where like four other people jump through. This is where, it's kind of, the underlings of Teku. Teku has four underlings that are actually kind of trained by him and given magic that Teku kind of deserved for them to beat him. Now, one of them has what's called reddish, like very fiery, orangey hair, kind of like sticking up. This is where, he is very fired up. His eyes are just always burning. This is where, his name is, his name is Moregu, and of course Moregu kind of says, hell yeah! Am I going to burn things right now? This is where another person kind of like seems to be crying a little bit, and water is always rolling down his like tears. Or not he, mostly her tears. And this is where, she has longish bluish hair, and of course her eyes are blue. And this is where, she sings, it seems for the Lord of the God, of the water god, we must hope Teku and saving this world from a devil like you. This is where just tears kind of go down from her face, but she's not really crying. She's a little bit motionless most of the time. She's crying emotion, but it's not physically most of the time crying. But yeah, just water kind of runs out. This is where another person with another person that has two abertudes, kind of has what's called gas magic, and also has gas magic and smoke magic. This is where, this person has what's called like blackish hair. Right now wearing kind of like this very puffy jacket on him that kind of says gas. And his name is, I'm gonna call him Caesar. Yes, I'm taking Caesar from what's it called, One Piece, but yeah, don't worry about it. The one with the gas tofu, but yeah. This is where, the last one is someone that's, seems to kind of have, what's it called? This is where this person has brown hair, and his magic is wood style, like similar towards Willem's, but it's a little bit kind of not his actual magic. It's kind of something that, Teku managed to just give to him. His actual magic is earth magic, meaning that he has earth magic and metal magic with him also. He has two abertudes that he was born, but kind of wood magic was kind of given to him by, Teku, when he actually found someone that had it, and managed to just take and put it onto, this person. This person's name, I'm going to call him Yamato, okay? So I just don't get confused names because I'm going to forget them. But yeah, also forgot to name the girl's name. Her name is Umi, but yeah. This is where, all of them are right now looking at, what's it called? When I did say that he had four underlings, these four are actually connected with Otto. Otto is actually one of what's called Teku's underlings. So there are 5 in total, not 4. This is where, all of them are looking at Zenon. Zenon says, what? Do you think 4 other people might help you? That won't help at all. This is where he is right now bursting with his magic out. This is where he says, I will defeat you all. This is where Teku smiles with this creepy smile and says, really? You think you're gonna defeat me? You really are stupider than I thought. Let's do this. 5 elite lieutenants. This is where all of them nodded. This is where, they all start rushing, right now bursting out of the way. This is where, is kind of grabbed by Otto to kind of like jump out of the way also. Because this is where Teku sends a very powerful fire burst attack. Mixed with his wind magic, because he has taken multiple wind and fire magic. This is where, this giant gush of fire actually exploded from Teku, right now launching into Zenon. Zenon sends bone and even what's it called. He just sends bone attacks, but has a spiritual magic kind of barrier in front of him, kind of blocking the fire attack. Bones kind of ripped through the fire and almost hit Teku. Teku dodges and says, you think this is gonna work against me? I am definitely going to kick your ass, you fucking pathetic weakling. This is what, Zenon says, damn it, why won't you die? Where's the others? This is where, Morgan, yeah, not Morgan. Yeah, you want to call him Morgan. Morgan kind of appears saying, "Blazing fire, inferno." This is where, well, he has his fist, his left fist, into this fire attack. This is where he uppercuts what's called Zenin, and this is where the fire burst happens. This is where Zenin gets exploded by this attack. This is where Zenin gets pushed up, and this is where, well, Umi says, "Rainfall hell, for the love of God, you must be punished, you devil." This is where she was talking about that. And this is where a cloud appears. Right now, falling rain. But right now, the rain turns into a very sharp edge. You know how the rain... Okay, you know how rain is like... There's the kind of droplet in the bottom and the like pointy top. Or mostly it's not pointy most of the time. But in drawings, it's like pointy and all that. From the top. Instead, it's the opposite. Instead of that rain, it's flipped over and the pointy side is kind of below instead of the blunt side. This is where, well, Zenin sees this. And, well, he doesn't notice it. He just thought it was just fucking rain until he feels jabs and stabs around his body being under this rain. This is where, oh, he realized that this rain is bad enough. Now, I should mention something. Umi has a second attribute. She might be able to control a bunch of body of water and other things, even control rain and all that. But she has chemicals. Chemical magic. This is where she changes. Chemical magic, rain switch. Acid style. This is where, well, the rain, instead of being just normal water, it becomes acid, and this is where it's actually burning. Well, kind of like cutting and burning and eating what's it called. Well, Zenin realizes this is bad. He uses spiritual magic to block out the rain, and this is where, well, Caesar appears saying, "Yeah! It seems that you might be interesting. Smoke style plus gas style. Smoking gassing chamber." This is where, well, he makes a chamber around Zenin, and Zenin is right now coughing up because he can't actually breathe normal oxygen, and this is where he makes his special magic around him, kind of like making it into a square, small enough, but blocking out the, what's called, the chamber. This is where, well, someone from the sky appears. This is Yamato. Yamato says, "Wood style, wooden grab chamber." This is where he decides to grab around what's called the gas chamber, kind of spinning it and making it a ball. And this is where, well, he then says earth style, earth spikes, when he kind of sends wood down to the ground, mostly by sending like a splinter of wood underneath what's called Zenin. And this is where earth magic kind of appear after the wood, kind of like spike hitting down the ground. This is where earth spikes kind of launch to kind of pierce Zenin. And this is where, well, it does pierce Zenin through it, and Zenin gets three what's called earth spikes appear from three different sides of Zenin. One from the front, two from the back. This is where Zenin goes, "This is bad. These people are stronger than I thought. There are these arcane level magic knights." This is where, well, Otto kind of says, "Now listen up, you know. You attack while I attack at the same time, okay?" This is where, well, Yuno says, "Got it." This is where Yuno says, "Wind spirit, full form blast." This is where, well, he kind of points to his sword to kind of like thrust it. And this is where, well, Otto kind of appears from the other side saying, "Multi-slash, sound wave cuts." This is where, well, he sends multiple like slasher cuts and all that, like slashes at the barrier and all that. Mostly the wooden ball up in the sky. And this is where Yuno thrusts it at the same time. This is where, well, Teku kind of sends a very powerful wind tornado, what's it called, multiple wind tornadoes appearing around what's it called, the barrier. And this is where the barrier gets cut down. Well, mostly the ball gets cut down with multiple like sound slashes. And this is where Zenin realized that he got like some of his limbs like cut off. This is where a blast of what's it called, the wind spirit attack hit him also. And this is where, well, he was like, this is where he was about to be blasted out until 4 tornadoes appear from each side of inside. Right now, twisting into him and transforming into a giant hurricane. Right now, just twisting him around the hurricane and just blowing him around. Right now, smashing down to the ground, hitting, well, multiple things. Because you see here, Caesar sent multiple smoke and gas the aisles into, well, poisonous stuff into, well, the what's it called, hurricane. Umi also did the same. This is where she sent multiple ash rain in it, chemicals kind of style and all that. This is where mostly what's it called? Yes, his name is Blazu in what's it called in English, but yeah, or Blaze or whatever. And this is where he says blazing raging punches. Starts kind of just throwing punches, and of course they're just blaze attacks into the hurricane, kind of mixing the hurricane to become a fiery hurricane at the same time, with the other things kind of exploding and making them much more ferocious in the hurricane. And this is what last one, Yamato, he kind of says Earth stuff, Earth domain government. This is where an Earth dome kind of appear bigger than the one that were what's called trap Zenin in. Right now, trapping the fiery hurricane in it, and this is where Zenin is being burned, gassed up, right now smoked out also, and also being kind of having chemicals all around his body, and fucked up 6 when a damn Sunday. So yeah. This is where Zen meant to explode. He right now has 85% of his power. This is where he actually asked for Bozen double heart. This is where Bozen says, I understand. I can only give you half. Wait, no. It's like my magic's being affected. No, I can give you the full, but you're gonna be under my control. This is where what's it called? Fucking hell. I forgot his name. Zenin actually explodes with the mana around what's called Bozen. And right now he has full, like the full heart and all that. Right now having the full power of Bozen. Or whatever his name. Bozen. I don't really know how to say it, but yeah. This is where Zenin's laughing. Yeah. This is where Teku says, this seems to be really bad. This is where, Yuno says, what do you mean really bad? It seems that that person fused with his double entirely, meaning that he has 100% now. It seems that this is really bad. All of you, stay back. I'll be fighting him alone. This is where all of them would say, wait, what? No! This is where, they all were about to question their kind of, commander. And this is where Yuno was actually gonna ask not happening. Because even though he doesn't know much about Teku, Teku just says, like I said, don't question your commander, okay? All of them kind of stay quiet, but this is where Yuno says, you're not my commander at all anyway. Why should I listen to you? Listen up, brat. What's it called? Dark Raku-sama will be really pissed if you would have died. So, I'm taking this one for the team. Don't question why. Just take it. This is where, Teku kind of walks forward, and this is where, Zen, who's right now at 4% Doma, kind of rushes at, Teku. This is where, when what's it called, Zen was getting closer, Teku says, even though he told me to just train and learn if I can take double magic, let's see if I can do this. Full bringing taker magic. This is where, a dome appears around Zenin, and Zenin was confused. This is where he feels like he was actually cut down to 50%. This is where he's confused. This is where, Teku kind of goes into the 50% of the taken magic from, Zenin. This is where Zenin widens his eyes. This is where Teku says, it seems that I can only take in 50% and not your full percent. But that doesn't matter. Let's see if he can go against me with my full power. This is where a burst of magic, of all of the magic that he took in before, he hasn't really combined it together, but this time he did combine it together, making a full, bright, rainbowish light appear. Right now, Teku's eyes were mostly, Teku's eyes were usually a brownish color, I should mention, but now, instead of being a brownish color, it's a very rainbowish color that has a star pattern in his eyes. Right now, not a star pattern, mostly an X pattern. This is where, in both eyes he has an X pattern. This is where, they're black, mostly the X, but of course it's rainbowish color. The eye, the pupil, not pupil, mostly the, what's called eye. I forgot what to call it, but yeah. This is where, he is right now just, smiling with this, smile and all that. Of course, his skin was, what's it called, very palish color, as you mentioned, Teku. And of course, this is where, even though you couldn't see under his arms or anything, because he did wear a jacket to kind of cover up his palish skin, he seems to be in this form uncaring most of the time. As to where, he was smiling for the first time with this evil grin. Right now having 2 horns on top of his head, but they were white. This is where, he had 2 wings to the side of him, but they were kind of having this whitish flame on him. kind of like flying up and down. This is where he had a tail because he mostly took in the form similar to Bull Zen, or whatever it's kind of said, or the devil that Zenin has. But it's different from, well, Zen entirely. This is where, well, the eyes are mostly a mixture of all the what's called attributes that Teku has managed to take. This is where, well, what's called Zenin's mana was taken. The devil's also mana was taken also by, well, Teku. Teku's right now smiling, saying, let's see who you're gonna win against. Let's fight. That's where Teku right now bursts right now with speed. Right now flying towards, what's it called, Zenin. Zenin sends bone attacks. This is where, well, Teku managed to block it with his own bones. Because yes, even though he managed to take the mana, magic, and also the devil's magic. Meaning that he has taken the mana from Zenin, the bone magic, and even, well, mostly a half percentage of the bone magic, and also the spatial magic. This is where, well, bone actually appeared behind Teku when he was flying straight towards, well, what's it called? Well, towards Zenin. Zenin, bones, and even Teku's bones right now clash in the middle, right now just breaking each other's. And this is where Zenin appears with his bone sword he kind of made. And this is where, well, Teku did the same. And say, this is where he combined it with fire and right now blocks it. Or not blocks it, right now clashes with what's it called, Zenin's, like, sword. This is where Zenin says, I won't lose to you. Damn it. You despiteful human. I might be despiteful. I might be the one to take magic. You know how humans are. Taking. I might be like that, but you're a devil. You're worse than me. So shut the fuck up. This is where Zenin, like, grabs, what's called, from the left hand, he grabs what's it called, Zenin from, like, the kind of horn. Pull him closer, just to knee him in the face, right now launching him across the sky. This is where, well, in the sky, it just looks like a black star versus a white kind of like rainbow star right now flying through the sky, clashing with a black one. This is where, well, everyone is seeing this, and everyone in the Clover Kingdom is seeing this, and this is where, well, they're just seeing such a beautiful type of like fight. But we go into somewhere else. We go into, well, what's it called? The fight between Vanika and Soy. Soy kind of went into a form that seems to be a little bit, kind of, well, Pharaoh a little bit. Kind of having scales around herself. And this is where she has two horns on her, well, head. This is where, well, she has very sharp teeth. And this is where her eyes are still a tealish blue. But they have a slick in the middle. This is where, well, mostly a slick with an X on it. Mostly with the other X kind of being also slick eyes. This is where, well, she's smiling with this kind of ferocious teeth smile. And right now she has wings and a tail behind her. This is where, well, she's saying, so, devil, how you like this form? This is where, well, I should mention one thing. Noelle managed to go into what's called full sanctum mode or whatever. The water saint mode or whatever. And of course, she's right now into this form. Of course, it's a Valkyrie form. She has a sword and all that. And this is where Mimosa is right now. Also with what's it called, her kind of queen kind of form and all that, because, well, there's actually a mana zone around them that's actually increasing their mana and just expansionally. This kind of mana zone is called Gaia's Whirl. It's mostly called Gaia's Whirl. Now this Gaia's Whirl is mostly nature. It's because Gaia is like Mother Nature. It's called Mother Nature Gaia. Gaia's Whirl. This is where, well, it's increasing both Noelle and Mimosa's power to actually get it. You know, in the manga where they kind of fight against Vanika and they have what's called, Mimosa has the, what's called, the princess, well not princess, the queen of, what's it called, what's it, princess or queen? Queen crown of, what's it called, the flowers and all that, and when, what's it called, Noelle kind of gets that one form from that Water Guardian to kind of go into that final form to kind of defeat against Vanika, but yeah. In her double mostly, but yeah. And right now, Vanika is in her double mode. Right now at 75%, but seems to be really tired. This is where, well, she does have her double right now laughing through her eye. And right now trying to take control of Vanika, but yeah. This is where, well, the double seems to be in a situation that no way in hell that he can win. Or he or she. I don't actually remember if the double is a girl or boy. Fuck it, I don't remember. This is where, well, It sounded like a boy in the anime, but meh, that could just be me. Or I was thinking of someone else. I can't remember. Fuck, but whatever. Let me go into the Twitter and shut up. But of course, the what? Oh, wait, what's it called? Veronica is saying, you think I would lose to you? Now, of course, this mono world is actually bigger and it's actually covering up everyone in the Heart Kingdom. Thanks to Soy's magic, her magic is able to cover everyone who's standing on soil or even water, anything in the Heart Kingdom, because the Heart Kingdom is full of like natural mana, making Soy stronger every time she absorbs this natural mana. This is where, well, her dome just extend bigger, and right now getting to the other Black Bulls or kind of Crimson Lions or anyone. But yeah, making them stronger and fight against the double the double disciples. But yeah, this is where what Fanika says. So what are you anyway? This is where Soy says, you can call me a dragon, I guess. You know, I guess you can call me a dragon most of the time. It's a word. Well, Fanika says, a dragon. Huh, how interesting. But that won't defeat me. I will take LordPotato. This is where LordPotato says, damn it. This is where, well, Soy says, not happening. I won't let you take the Heart Queen's, what's it called, Queen away. This is where, well, both Noel and, well, Soy right now rushes towards Fanika. And Fanika says, you won't defeat me. Blood and magic claw. This is where she tries to kind of claw at, well, Noel. Until Soy kind of grab, what's it called, well, not grab, mostly push Noel away and mostly block the kind of blood claw with her own earth claw. This is where, so I say, it's not happening there, you stupid bitch. This is where she crushes the blood claw, and this is where, well, Veronica widen her eyes until she almost, like, well, she, not almost, she did, what's it called, yeah, did directly get hit by a kind of armor scaly kind of like, knee. Mostly that was called Soy has. And this is where, well, she gets hit in the face by a knee attack. Of course, where Veronica seems to be kind of, right now, dizzy from the attack, because they seem to just hit her right in the head really fucking hard. This is what, well, Noel appears from the, behind and says, Water Sword, what's it called? I won't let you win. I will defeat you for my mother. This is where she cuts with the call, well, Veronica. And this is where, well, cut her in half, and this is where Veronica managed to put herself back and says, why, you bastards? Oh, you must be, what's it called, Sylvian's child then. Interesting. But that doesn't want to work. Whatever, I'll kill you right now. This is where, well, they're fighting against the car, well, with Veronica. And of course, she's trying to, like, every time she gets cut in one half or another half, or her body or entirely her head, she uses her blood magic just to put it back together. And this is where she tries to use her curse magic, but realize one thing. In this place, it seems to, curse magic, it seems to be erased in an instant. In the world of Gaia, this like mana zone, it actually erases any curse, any negative things, except for the kind of magic that is kind of coming from this person. But yeah. With this happening, what's it called? Veronica cannot, like, actually manage to defeat Soy or what's it called, Noel. Noel says, I will defeat you. I will defeat you for, well, for LordPotato, my mother, my family, and even, well, her face becomes a little bit red, but this is where she says, Asta, very quietly. This is where Soy magically hears, but Soy has a axe on her hand, but mostly into, both hands, mostly. Well, mostly in her right hand, she has an axe, and this is where, well, she says, I will defeat you for what's it called, the Heart Queen and the others. And I won't let a devil like you be running around. Us, the Clover King, the what's it called, Heart Kingdom, will defeat you devils from the Spade Kingdom. This is where, well, Veronica says, I won't die. This is where Soy says, yeah, right, you are. Earth magic binding. This is where Earth actually appears right now, binding Veronica. And Veronica says, no, no. This is where, well, we go into, well, into the Black Bulls. The Black Bulls are right now fighting, and even Yami fighting against Dante. Dante says, it seems that you're weaker than I thought. You people won't be able to defeat me. Well, that seems to be too bad. As where, well, someone appears with a flash of black and red lightning right now appearing right in front of Dante, and that is none other than Asta. Asta says, "Yo, Captain, how you doing?" This is where, well, Asta's hair seems to be way longer than normal. This is where it's now a mixture of black and, well, white. But this is where his skin is fully purple. It's like a purplish color. And this is where they has like lines around it, like multiple symbols around it. This is where in one hand he has the red necklace around him. And this is where in his mouth he has a tanta. Right now just kind of towards his right side of his hand and all that. And this is where, well, he kind of puts it back in his mouth. And this is where, well, he has sharper teeth than normal. But this is where, well, black and red lightning is crackling around him. This is where Libby actually appears, kind of laughing. Ki. Seems the devil's here. Seems we're gonna have to kill him. This is where, well, Asta says, exactly, Libby. Let's do this then. This is where, well, in his right hand he actually appears, what's it called, the Demon Dweller. And this is where he puts the necklace back into his, like, what's called neck. And this is where, well, he kind of pulls out the Demon Destroyer in his other hand. This is where, well, he goes into double union mode, but also into death union mode. This is where, well, he goes into the Shinigami mode. This is where, well, he seems to have a different presence around him. Entirely. Death and demon mixed together. This is where, well, his wings, instead of just being black, they're like a blackish, whitish color, but has like some kind of bones on the 11. This is where he has a tail, but some mixture of like the demon tail, but also having like bones on it. Or not a little bit of bones, just being purple a little bit, or white a little bit, mostly. This is where his armor seems to be black, red, white, and kind of showing a little bit of the purple skin. But this is where, well, Asta is laughing and right now grinning with this evil, like, what's it called? Instead of, you know, the white around a person's eyes, instead of that being white, it's black. And instead of just being red, the cross and all that, well, mostly the cross that's in the pupil, it's, well, white, but the around the eye is red still. This is what, well, Asta's laughing. Now he does have his horns, but they still show two purple horns. This is where, well, his hair is pretty damn long, I should still mention. But yeah, this is where, well, Asta says, let's do this. This is where he rushes out, well, the kind of, well, devil named Dante, right now clashing into him, fighting against him. This is where, well, even though Dante is right now in 75% and is fighting against Asta, he's actually being able to get cut and actually hurt in this one way faster than normal. This is where, well, because Asta has become 10, no 1,000 times stronger. He's right now in a form that shouldn't be able in this world. And this world should not be able to be here. But Asta is here. This is where, well, Asta went into excruciating, what they call, pain and training, but also went through death. So, do you think Asta died? Probably. But we go into a flashback of when I impaled him through the heart. But this is where, well, when he got impaled through the heart, he met death and finally achieved his final form. Shinigami mode. This is where, well, Asta's right now flying through, and even if Asta managed to like catch a punch from Dante when he lets go of the Demon Dweller, he managed to destroy Dante's like arm. This is where Dante has to regen a fake arm. Yeah, Asta, he managed to use Death Touch to destroy that arm, but yeah. This is where, well, with that happening, Dante's saying, no, I won't lose. I won't lose to someone like you. I will kill you, fucking demon. You fucking loser, demon. This is what, well, they keep fighting, and of course, this is what, well, Dante says, gravity, magic, domain king. This is where someone appears right now holding this, like, weird staff and saying anti-gravity, what's it called, zone. Anti-gravity zone. Equal gravity. This is where, when the domain king happened, it kind of be dispelled with someone else's gravity magic. This is where, well, Dante was confused, and even Lucifer was confused. This is where, well, Dante says, what? How is that impossible? This is where, well, someone then says, gravity magic 500 times. This is where Dante smashes to the ground in high speed. Dante tries to get back up. This is where he's right now growing into 85%. He's like, I won't lose. This is where, well, what's it called? I think Dante can be the only one to go to 100%, but yeah, number canon. So that's what Dante does. He goes into a full 100%. This is what, well, he says, I won't lose. to anyone. That's where Asta was still holding back and saying, too bad for you. You're going to die anyway. Pathetic weakling. This is where, well, Asta right now flies so fast straight towards, well, Zenin. Well, not Zenin, Dante. And this is where, well, Dante tries to kind of punch at, well, Asta, saying, die. This is where, well, before even the fake cat was able to stop, well, Asta from getting killed, because, well, Dante managed to rip through Asta head and just managed to just go through it. This is where, well, not go through it, mostly go straight through his, like, chest, mostly it was his right side, so managed to hit the heart. So through his, like, shoulder at the heart. This is where, Asta gets hit by it. This is where, yeah, what the fucking hell. Dante kind of says, you're finally dead. This is where Asta smirked with his teeth being so shiny. Asta grabs Dante's arm and explodes it. This is where Asta's kind of chest that had a hole in it just heals really fast. And Dante widens his eyes. Asta says, oh, do you think I have a heart? Sorry. Being the incarnation of death, I can't die. This is where, well, Dante was winding his eyes, and Asta appears right in front of him, saying, die. Shinigami blast. Well, mostly he has like this white but crimson reddish ball in his hand. And this is where he says, Shinigami anti-magic blast fusion. Right now, big burst of attack smashes into Dante, destroying him in an instant. But yeah, this is where we go into, well, the person right now seeing this, he kind of goes up to Dante, who's right now fading away, but then sees the heart of mostly Lucifer. Lucifer was about to appear until, well, this person stabbed the heart with his staff, destroying an instant and walking away. But before doing that, he kind of absorbed the gravity magic away from him, like if he could, or in the beginning. This is where, well, this person walked away. He had a white cloak and all that, and he had a galaxy kind of book that's kind of floating beside him, but mostly, yeah. This is where, well, Asta kind of looks at everyone else, and this is where Asta kind of does a thumbs up and passes out. So, yeah. This is where, oh, Asta is falling asleep, like, yeah. So, of course, this is where, well, after, well, we go into Zenin and even Teku. Teku is right now fighting in Zenin, and Zenin says, I won't die, you pathetic bastard. He tries to shove his hand into Zenin, well, not Zenin, mostly Teku, and Teku dodges it with a speed kind of like swiftness magic and appear behind Zenin, saying, sorry, but you're dead. Piercing magic heavily cuts. Goodbye. This is where, well, he then says, before I say that, he then says from his other hand, all combining magic, rainbowish blast of hell. Goodbye. He blasts, well, Zenin away until seeing the double heart. And this is where, well, Teku kind of pulls out his hand and just shoves his hand through. Well, not shove his hand through, mostly slash his hand horizontal. Right now, cutting the devil's heart, destroying an instant. So, of course, we go back into Vanica and, well, Noel. Or mostly Vanica, Noel, and, well, Soy. They manage to kill the devil named Vanica, and, of course, the devil dies, and, of course, she passes away. But, yeah. Now we go into a time skip of, well, not kind of like getting towards the captains and kind of talking to them, even talking to the Heart Kingdom, because he realized that 3 of the, what's called, Dark Tribe has lost, but they still need to get rid of half, like, the members from, what's called, the Dark Tribe members left over that were in the Spade Kingdom. Just need help and all that. Not to realize one thing, Asa has already had fusion with his devil, a double union. This is where, with what's it called? Not was confused with Asa being able to go into double union. Now, Asa has kind of purplish skin, but he can't really die. His eyes are permanently kind of black, but with white on him. But yeah, it kind of mostly looks like the Shinigami monster. Oh, for fuck's sake. Wait, no, that's the wrong one. Shinigami, you know how they have the white eye, and yeah. So yeah, But of course, this is where, well, Asta is kind of just smiles with this kind of evilish grin at Not, and Not was confused. And this is where Not just didn't know, but this is where I appear into the room. And well, I didn't actually appear into the room, but this is where, well, Teku or even another person, the second vice captain of what's called the mercenaries, didn't even appear. Williams was still in the hospital because he was hurt and all that, but this is where you know how to take that being the captain. Otto and the others kind of were not there, mostly Otto was there, but yeah. But this is where, well, they all decide to help the Spade Kingdom to get rid of some devils, so we go into a time skip of when that happened. Asta mostly destroy them, you know they're the same, and the wealth are the same. This is where Soy was there, or her captain just protecting her, but yeah. This is where Char realized one thing. Soy has become really strong, really powerful, able to help everyone with a kind of monozone. That's what, well, Soy did see the monozone that was called Char managed to do, and it's called the True Brighton. I don't remember what it's called, but she just uses the red flowers and blue roses together, but yeah. This is where, well, Soy thought it was really cool until Char noticed one thing. Soy isn't that very excited. Not for her most of the time, but yeah. That's where, well, she then kind of ignores it, but this is where, well, they didn't need to say Beyond or Williams, so yeah. They managed to defeat all those devils. But we go into a time skip of, well, the celebration of the Clover Kingdom defeating the devils. This is where, well, Kira did ask what's called, well, Julius about how the devils, there were 3 in original instead of what's called Devil of Curse being there. And this is where Julius realized saying, wait, Kira! This is where before Kira was actually turned into, well, a new person. This is where, well, it was stopped. Like a finger, Julius' finger was stopped in an instant. This is where Kira widened his eyes. The person who just grabbed Julius' arm was none other than Dark Raikou. Me. This is where I snapped, Julius' arm, also known as Lucius. But this is where I'm gonna end it off for part 7 of this What If. Yes, part 8 will be the end of this What If. Now, I know what you're all thinking. What the fuck? I haven't really been shown into the What If that I was talking about. Yeah, because I mostly like staying secretive, but yeah. But other than that, I know that some of you are confused. How is Asa going to stay alive most of the time? Or is he going to still be kind of... If you have read the latest chapters of manga, those, well, won't really happen for Asta, because I am here to save the day. Not really, but whoever knows. You're going to have to watch part 8 for this. But other than that, have a nice potato day, potato night, potato sleep, potato, and good night. Bye-bye.